court of their Excellencies, Disa and Alastair, most glorious Baroness and Baron of the mighty barony of Glymm.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining us for court this afternoon. We've got a lot of exciting things that are going to be announced, and we've got some special surprises. We'll also be having the Bardic performances that were submitted by our entrants throughout court today. So we hope you enjoy.
If it please your Excellencies, Mistress Elizabeth Piper brings us entertainment for this lovely spring day.
I am Elizabeth Piper. Galahad is my original poem set to the 14th century French chanson Pleureux, which was composed by Glymm de Machaut. Sir Galahad, the good knight, the true and gallant hero of this tale. His pure heart was the source of his might. His quest was to seek and find the Grail. Red cross on a shield of white. The lineage of Lancelot did not fail. He saved the maidens from a plight. Terrible indeed, how the damsels did wail. Galahad was the handsomest knight, golden and shining in his glistening mail. After a year and a day, he saw the sight. As was foretold, Galahad beheld the Grail. Sir Galahad, the good knight, the true and gallant hero of this tale. His pure heart was the source of his might. His quest was to seek and find the Grail. Sir Galahad, the good knight, the true and gallant hero of this tale. His pure heart was the source of his might. His quest was to seek and find the Grail. Red cross on a shield of white, the lineage of Lancelot did not fail. He saved the maidens from a plight. Terrible indeed, all damsels did wail. Galahad was the handsomest knight, golden and shining in his glistening mail. After a year
Excellencies now summon His Excellency Dunstan Malolane. Baron Dunstan has business before this court.
Your Excellencies, thank you for allowing me to address your populace. For many years, the Baronial banner has hung proudly behind the thrones of the Baron and Baroness, but time has taken its toll on this honored relic. With Your Excellency's permission, I have commissioned a new banner to be made using period materials and techniques from the hand of Baroness Anna de la Serra. From the Baroness Anna and myself, we make this present to the barony.
On behalf of the members of the Barony of Glymm, we'd like to thank Baron Dunstan for his generous and beautiful gift to the barony. We'd also like to thank Her Ladyship Anna de la Serra for her incredible work on this beautiful banner. Your work, as always, is absolutely spectacular.
Their Excellencies call forth Her Ladyship, Sorka Engen Mekangawan.
Sorka, you are absolutely incredible. You have taken on the office of Exchequer since this fall, and you've done a wonderful job. We look forward to having you in this barony for many, many years to come. Please hear these words.
Light shines through the heart of a crystal, bringing splendor and joy to those around it. So too does the service of Sorka Engen Mekangawan enrich our barony. Well pleased are we, Disa and Alastair, Baroness and Baron of Glymm, to invite them to join the Order of the Crystal. By our hand and seal on this 17th day of April, Anno Societatis 55, being 2021 Gregorian. 3 cheers for the newest member of the Order of the Crystal. Huzzah! 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 If it please your Excellencies, Marcus Claudius Scorpus brings us entertainment for this lovely spring day.
This is Breed on a Breer. Breed on a Breer, breed on a Breer. Candies karma, lover to cover. Faithful braid on me through ray wall grave. Lame grain through me, my gravel. He's on so breed on a Breer. What he say, thought understand hollow. Years wait of lame of lovely true is fair and full of all Thank you.
Their Excellencies call forth her ladyship, Natasha Orionova Zativa.
Natasha, you are perhaps best known for all of the work you've done in the heraldic community, heralding for numerous royal courts as well as baronial courts, field heralding, helping run lists, but also all of the volunteering you do in the barony and so many other capacities, greeting newcomers, helping out with projects. You turn your hand to so many things, and we can't tell you how much we value you. Please hear these words.
From the first felt drop to an unending flood that touches and strengthens all around them. Thus have the labors indeed poured forth from Natasha Orionova Zativa. Thus do we, Disa and Alastair, Baroness and Baron of Glymm, invite them to join the Order of the Ewer. By our hand and seal this 17th day of April, Anno Societatis 55, being 2021 Gregorian. 3 cheers for the newest member of the Order of the Ewer. Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!
We all know that running events is a lot of work and requires the efforts of many people. Virtual events are no different. We want to extend our thanks to Baron Dunstan and his team for gathering this together and making this event happen. We will have a lovely basket full of wonderful things for you and your team that we will get to as soon as possible. Thank you for all your hard work and time.
If it please your Excellencies, the Honorable Lady Melissa of Dalmatia brings us entertainment for this lovely spring day.
The Tale of Odysseus and the Cyclops, as pulled from the Odyssey by Homer, translation by Emily Wilson, abridged and narrated by Melissa of Dalmatia. Where shall I start? Where can I end? The gods have given me so much to cry about. First I will tell my name, so we will be acquainted, and if I survive, you can be my guest in my distant home one day. I am Odysseus, Laertes' son, known for my many clever tricks and lies. My fame extends to heaven, but I live in Ithaca, where shaking forest hides Mount Neterion. Now let me tell you all the trouble Zeus has caused me on my journey home from Troy. The cloud lord Zeus hurled north wind at our ships, a terrible typhoon, and covered up the sea with earth and fog. The wind blew straight, the pilot steered, and I would have come home safely to my own land, but as I rounded Malea, a current and blast of wind pushed me off course, away from Cythera. For 9 days I was swept by storm across the fish-filled sea. With heavy hearts we sailed along and reached the country of the reckless Cyclops, lacking in customs. Upon arrival, right at the edge of the land by the sea, I told my loyal crew to guard the ship, while I would go with just 12 chosen men, my favorites. I took a goat skin full of dark, sweet wine that I was given by Apollo's priest. I filled a big skin up with it and packed provisions in a bag. We soon were at the cave, but did not find the Cyclops, as he was pasturing his flocks. We went inside and looked at everything. My crew begged, let us grab some cheese and quickly drive the kids and lambs out of their pens and down to our swift ships, and sail away across the salty water. That would have been a better choice. But I refused. I hoped to see him and find out if he would give us gifts. In fact, he brought my joy no companions. He came at dinner time and brought a load of wood to make a fire. He hurled it noisily in the cave. We were afraid and cowered towards the back. He lifted up the heavy stone and set it to block the entrance of the cave. It was a rock so huge and massive, 22 strong carts could not have dragged it from the threshold. When he had carefully performed his chores, he lit a fire and looked around and saw us. Strangers, who are you? Where did you come from across the watery depths? Are you on business or roaming round without a goal, like pirates who risk their lives at sea to bring disaster to other people? So he spoke, his voice so deep and booming, and his giant size made our hearts sink in terror. Even so, I answered, "We are Greeks, come here from Troy. The winds have swept us off in all directions across the vast expanse of sea, of course, from our planned route back home. Now we beg you, here at your knees, to grant a gift, as is the norm for hosts and guests. Please, sir, my lord, respect the gods. We are your supplicants, and Zeus is on our side, since he takes care of visitors, guest friends, and those in need." Unmoved, he said, "Well, foreigner, you are a fool, or from some very distant country. You order me to fear the gods. If I spare you, or spare your friends, it will not be out of fear of Zeus. I do the bidding of my own heart." But he made no reply and showed no mercy. Leaping up high, he reached his hand toward my men, seizing two and knocking them hard against the ground like puppies, and on the floor was wet with brains. He ripped them limb by limb to make his meal, and ate them like a lion on the mountain, devouring flesh and entrails and marrow bones and leaving nothing. When the Cyclops had filled his massive body with his meal of human meat and milk, he lay stretched out among the flocks, and thinking like a military man, I thought I should get out my sword, go up to him and thrust right through his torso, feeling for his liver. That would have doomed us all. On second thoughts, I realized we were too weak to move the mighty stone he'd set in the high doorway. We stayed there in misery till dawn. Early the dawn appeared, pink fingers blooming, and then he lit his fire. When he had diligently done his chores, he grabbed two men and made a meal of them. After he ate, he drove his fat flock out. He rolled the boulder out and back with ease, as one would set the lid upon a quiver. Then, whistling merrily, the Cyclops drove his fat flocks to the mountain. I was left, scheming to take revenge on him and hurt him, and gained the glory if Athena let me. I made my plan. Beside the pen there stood a great big club, green olive wood, which he had cut to dry, to be his walking stick. I went and cut from it about a fathom, to give it to the men, and ordered them to scrape it down, and they made it smooth, and I stood by and sharpened up the tip, and made it hard in the blazing flame. And I hid the club. In the evening, he drove back his woolly flocks into the spacious cave. He picked up and placed the stone to form a door, and sat to milk the sheep and bleating goats in turn, then put the little ones to suck. His chores were done. He grabbed two men for dinner. I approached and offered him a cup of ivy wood filled full of wine. I said, "Here, Cyclops, you have eaten human meat. Now drink some wine and sample the merchandise our ship contains." He took and drank the sweet, delicious wine. He loved it and demanded more. "Another, and now tell me your name, so I can give you a present as my guest, one you will like." So I gave him another cup of wine, and then two more. He drank them all unwisely. With the wine gone to his head, I told him all politeness, "Cyclops, you ask my name. I will reveal it. Then you must give me the gift you promised me of hospitality. My name is Noman. My family and friends all call me Noman." He answered with no pity in his heart, "I will eat Noman last. First I will eat the other men. That is my gift to you." Then he collapsed, fell on his back and lay there. His massive neck askew, all-conquering sleep took him. My crew stood firm. Some god was breathing courage in us. They took the olive wood spear, its tip all sharp, and shoved it into his eye. I leaned on top and twisted it as when a man drills wood for shipbuilding. Horribly then he howled. The rocks resounded, and he shrank back in fear. He tugged the spear out of his eye, all soaked with gushing blood. Desperately, with both hands, he hurled it from him, and shouted to the Cyclops who lived in caves high up on the windy cliffs. They heard him, and came from every side, and stood near the cave, and called out, "Polyphemus, what is the matter? Are you badly hurt? Why are you screaming through the holy night, and keeping us awake? Is someone stealing your herds, or trying to kill you by some trick or force?" Strong Polyphemus from inside replied, "My friends, no man is killing me by tricks, not force." Their words flew back to him. "If no one hurts you, you are all alone. Great Zeus has made you sick, no help for that. Pray to your Lord Father, mighty Lord Poseidon." Then off they went, and I laughed to myself at how my no-man maneuver tricked him. The Cyclops groaned and labored in his pains, felt with blind hands, and took the door-stone out, and sat there in the entrance, arms outstretched to catch whoever went out with the sheep. The best idea I formed was this. There were those well-fed, sturdy rams with good thick fleece, wool as dark as violets, and all fine big creatures. So silently I tied them with rope used by the giant Cyclops as a bed. I bound the rams in sets of 3 and set a man between each middle sheep, with one on either side. And so my men were saved. One ram, the best the flock, I grabbed his back and curled myself up underneath, his furry belly clinging to his feet. By force of will I kept on hanging there, and then we waited miserably for day. When dawn revealed her rose-red hands, the rams jumped up, all eager for the grass. Though their master was weak and worn with pain, he felt the back of each ram as he lined them up, but missed the men tied up beneath their woolly bellies. Last of all, the big ram went outside, heavy with wool, and me, the clever trickster, strong Polyphemus, stroked his back and nudged the ram away outside. We rode a short way from the cave. Then I first freed myself, and then untied my men. We stole his nice fat animals, and ran constantly, glancing all around and back, until we reached the ship. I made them shove the fleecy flock on board, and row the boat out of the salty water. So they embarked and sat on their rowing benches, and struck their oar-blades in the widening sea. And then I had gone as far as shouts can carry. I jeered back, "Hey you, Cyclops, idiot! The crew trapped in your cave did not belong to some poor weakling? Well, you had it coming. You had no shame at eating your own guests, so Zeus and the other gods have paid you back. Cyclops, if any mortal asks you how your eye was mutilated and made blind, say that Odysseus, the city sacker, Laertes' son, who lives in Ithaca, destroyed your sight." He groaned, "The prophecy, it has come true at last. There was a tall and handsome man named Telemus, the son of Eremus, who lived among my people. He spent his life here, soothsaying for us. He told me that Odysseus' hands would make me lose my sight. I always thought somebody tall and handsome, strong and brave would come to me. But now this little weakling, this little nobody has blinded me. By wine he got the best of me. Listen, Earthshaker, blue-haired Poseidon, acknowledge me your son. Be my father. Grant that Odysseus, the city sacker, will never go back home. Or if it is fated that he will see his family, then let him get there late and with no honor, in pain and lacking ships and having caused the death of all his men. Let him find more trouble in his own house." Poseidon granted his son's prayer, and the waves surged up and pushed the boat ahead. And so we sailed on with sorrow in our hearts, glad to survive, but grieving for our friends.
Their Excellencies call forth Lady Katrine de Corsetier.
Katrine, there can't be anyone in both the canton and the barony who haven't seen you hard at work. Seeing you take on offices for the canton, for arts and sciences, taking on the office of chamberlain for the barony. You have your hands in so many different activities. Please hear these words.
Light shines through the heart of a crystal, bringing splendor and joy to those around it. So too does the service of Katrine de Corsetier enrich our barony. Well pleased are we, Disa and Alastair, Baroness and Baron of Glymm, to invite them into the Order of the Crystal. By our hand and seal, this 17th day of April, Anno Societatis 55, being 2021 Gregorian. 3 cheers for the newest member of the Order of the Crystal. Huzzah! 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 Their Excellencies now summon Sir Seamus MacBrayon. Sir Seamus has business before this court.
Greetings to my friends, the newly invested Shire of Caladford. This is a significant accomplishment, and one that I know that you all have worked very hard to accomplish for many years. To commemorate this happy day, I have created a map of the Kingdom of Ontir, as it looks today, the date of your investiture, with the territory of your canton denoted. The map of a kingdom as dynamic as Ontir is always changing, and my hope is that this map will serve as a means of freezing this place and time so that you can reflect on this happy day for many years to come. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sir Brahon, for your kind words and your generosity. In recognition of this momentous achievement that the canton has made, we also have a gift. we reached out to the banner maker extraordinaire, Her Ladyship Ana de la Serra, and commissioned a banner for the canton to be made so that they might properly display their regalia and their new status. Congratulations on all your hard work.
Their Excellencies call forth Her Ladyship Melissa of Dalmatia.
Melissa, everyone in the barony should be well aware of the amount of service you do for the barony. What they might not be quite as aware of is the amount of arts you do as well. Whether you're sewing for others, teaching classes on beekeeping or block printing, or delving into the bardic arts. Hear these words.
As a stag bounds through the forest, love and skill bound forth from the hands of an artisan. Such an artisan stands before us today. Thus do we, Disa and Alastair, Baroness and Baron of Glymm, invite Melissa of Dalmatia to join the Order of the Red Heart. By our hand and seal this 17th day of April, Anno Societatis 55, being 2021 Gregorian. 3 cheers for the newest member of the Order of the Red Heart. Huzzah! 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 If it please your Excellencies, Sir Richard Fergus Fitzallen brings us entertainment for this lovely spring day.
I am Sir Richard Fitzallen from the Barony of Glymm in the Kingdom of Antir, and I have a rondeau I would like to speak for you today called Antir Besieged. Antir besieged, we raised a wall to protect us one and all from plague that came in through the air and stopped our world as caught in snare. They banned events both large and small. Bereft apart we did not dare, save through this way our words to share. With ramparts grew more ever tall Antir besieged. But now at last, before the fall, we have a hope to leave our hall. So let the trumpets with much flair announce the end of this affair, and soon no more must heralds call Antir besieged.
Their Excellencies call forth Lady Lucrezia de Alanis.
Lucretia, you came into our barony in the middle of a pandemic, and then you stepped up and volunteered to be our baronial scribe. Your artwork is absolutely incredible. You have done so much in this barony in the short time you have been here, and we value you so much. We look forward to many, many more years of you being here with us. Please hear these words.
Light shines through the heart of a crystal, bringing splendor and joy to those around it. So too does the service of Lucrezia de Alanis enrich our barony. Well pleased are we, Disa and Alastair, Baroness and Baron of Glymm, to invite them into the Order of the Crystal, by our hand and seal this 17th day of April, Anno Societatis 55, being 2021 Gregorian. 3 cheers for the newest member of the Order of the Crystal. Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!
We wanted to take a moment and thank all of the incredible arts and sciences and bardic entrants that we had today. We had so many more entrants than we were expecting. It was really pretty overwhelming during this time where everything is more difficult. It was really incredible to see so many people step up and put their names in as champions. For arts and sciences, we had Sir Brayhan, Her Ladyship Fina, His Lordship Gerald, Her Ladyship Isabella, and His Lordship Wolfgar. And in Bardic, we had Her Ladyship Melissa, Sir Richard, Dame Elizabeth, and Scorpus. Thank you all so much for putting your time and energy into this and for putting your name out there. I know how difficult that is. We both do. And it's so very appreciated.
Their Excellencies call forth His Lordship, Alexei Zativ.
Alexei, there are those whose names are synonymous with what they do. When it comes to archery and thrown weapons, your name and face are the first that pops just about everyone's mind. If there's ever a question or an issue, you are the one who has the answer and know how to solve it. You have spent so much time and given so much of your energy to the archery community and the thrown weapons in the barony. Please hear these words.
There are those among us who have become symbols of light in the minds of the populace. Those who, by long-standing deeds and wise counsel, are trusted and cherished. Long have the words, deeds, and name of Alexei Zativ been heard in our hall. Thus do we, Disa and Alastair, Baroness and Baron of Glymm, invite them to join the Order of the Beacon. By our hand and seal this 17th day of April, Anno Societatis 55, being 2021 Gregorian. 3 cheers for the newest member of the Order of the Beacon. Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!
Well, we would like to thank everyone who joined us today. Hopefully you found some interesting classes to take and had some good conversations. Enjoyed the Bardic performances. We will be deliberating and making our choices after receiving counsel on our new Bardic Champion and ANS Champion, and that continuation of our court will be played tomorrow morning. So we hope you will return and see who is stepping up.
Here recesses the court of their Excellencies of Glymm, the most noble Disa and Alastair.